Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this video. This is Andy Camber here on Up the Reds TV. Okay, this is the preview for Aston Villa versus Liverpool, Arne Slot's press conference. So let's get to it then. Okay, let's get the injuries out of the way. No Cody Gakpo, he's still sidelined with a knock that he picked up at the Everton game. Joey Gomez is going to be out for a while with his hammy that he's done. So, we'll be lucky to see him in the next possibly couple of months, so which is not good. This is not injury related. We do have Curtis Jones back after suspension from his sending off at the Everton game, so a bit of a plus side there for the Reds there. Arne Slot was asked about fatigue, tiredness throughout his press conference today, and he said, look, we're not going to be using that in not so many words. I'm just translating what I thought he said. He said, look, we're not using that. We're not going to be using that as an excuse. Excuse me. We're not going to be using that as an excuse. We've got experienced players in this team who have won things. The likes of Ali, Verge, Robbo, Trent, Maka with a World Cup medal. So, he was looking at the positives from that statement. He said, the mentality is very good there. He said that this is what the players will use in the last 13 games of the season, which was really interesting to know. He was asked about, were the Reds nervy against Wolves? He didn't think they were. He said, but the performance wasn't good in the second half, but he said it had nothing to do with the nerves there. I know there was nerves in the stand, and the old cliche is that you hear commentators saying, the natives in the stands are restless, and it's filtering its way down to the players. But Arne said no. He said we had control of the game at Everton, and we conceded, virtually the last minute goal there. He said with the Wolves game, he said we had control of the game, and but what we didn't do was concede a last minute goal. So he's looking erring onto the positives on that. He was asked about just scraping over winning games with the odd goal, and again I thought he'd come back with a good answer. He just said, look, we're managing games differently, and we're not sort of like losing games or drawing games, with the way that we're playing. We're just managing them correctly. So he was quite happy with that. He was asked about Jota playing, in the FA Cup game. Then he played midweek, and then he's playing now against Wolves. And he said, look, we're just getting him up to speed. He's now ready to play 90 minutes. Now, to me, that's a massive bonus, because he's sort of like, I wouldn't say he struggled, but he definitely needed the minutes to get him up to speed. And I think he's nearly there. Yeah, we can look back at the Wolves chance when he went down in the box. Old Jota would have slotted that away, wouldn't he? 1-2 touch, bang, in the back of the net. So he believes he's ready for a full 90 minutes rather than 60 minutes. So that doesn't bode well to the other players who were trying to vie for his position there. He was asked about you know, the opposition, and he said, look, Emery, he's very good at what he does. His team's well prepared. It will be a difficult game for the Reds to go to, and we'll have to be at our best to get a result from there. So he touched on many things in his press conference, which I thought was interesting. Mentioned about Wataru Endo coming on. I mean, you have to admit, he was only on 15 minutes, 20 minutes against Wolves, and some pundits gave him man of the match, and you can't really argue with that. I mean, he's like a boxer. When the bell goes, he's got his gum shield in, which he does wear a gum shield, and he's on the pitch. And I think with hindsight, Arne would have probably bought him on, against Everton to see out their threat, but he didn't warrant it. But it clearly showed his how he changed it when he came on. I mentioned Bradley coming on as well, tightening up the defence, and Kwanzaa as well. Had a good cameo as well against Wolves. So yeah, he was on about having to be ready when you come on. He also said it's easier for a defender to come on than a striker to come on off the bench, because with a striker you have to find your rhythm, and it does take time. But where a defender or defensive-minded player coming on, they're at it from the beginning, and I thought it was good that he's saying that it's far easier for a defender to come on than an attacker. So yeah, Aston Villa, we need to beat them, I think. A draw is going to be a good result. A loss is not going to be a good result, but 3 points would be really nice, because they've got a plethora of injuries in key areas. The two first team centre halves are out. The right back, Matty Cash, he's injured. He might be available. He's training again. They've got the defensive midfielder who I like, Boubacar Kamara. He's a good player. Amadou Onana, he's out as well. Ross Barkley's out. I'm not too fussed about Ross Barkley. Leon Bailey's close to coming on for them. Whether he'll be involved tomorrow night, I'm not so sure. I mentioned Matty Cash. But saying that, the team I'm going to pick for us in a few moments, just getting back onto Villa, I think Enzio, that they've signed from PSG, he's coming up to match fitness. I think he might start in midfield. Rashford might start. So because, as I say, they've got a really shortage of players with their injury list. So yeah, it's I think the game's going to be won in midfield, and who dominates that, as I say, I think that Incensio might come on. Tillemans will be in there. Rashford might, and Rodgers will probably play in that 10 role that he's been playing for him. I think Rashford will start on the left-hand side against Trent, and he's given Trent some difficult games, hasn't he? When Trent was a bit younger, outsmarting him. And I think him and Rodgers on that left, although Rodgers is playing that 10 on that left-hand side of Trent, and Ibu might want to exploit that area in transition. Because I think that's what I think we will have majority of the football and it's what we do with it in the middle of the park and at the top end. It's a night game. The Villa fans will treat it like a European game. They'll get behind the team, but we need to be on it from the onset. Incidentally, I saw something today about Kwanzaa and Conor Bradley, that they're only one game away from making 50 appearances for Liverpool, which is absolutely astonishing for them two young lads. Like, Connor's been away from the club last season. He was at Bolton, but if he came on tomorrow, that would be his 50th appearance for the club. So he just seems to be around for ages, doesn't he? And just to have 50 appearances is quite astonishing, because I would have thought it would have been a lot more than that. So, as I mentioned earlier, Curtis is back for us. So my team would be that it'll be Ali, Trent, Ibu, Verge. I know Robbo had a good game, but he was indecisive in some of the decisions he made on Sunday. One of them was he stopped, then he went again, and then he lost the ball, or he lost out in the race. So I don't know whether Robbo will start. I'll be happy with Tsimikas, so either Robbo or Tsimikas. Midfield, Ryan's been an absolute revelation in that position, hasn't he, Ryan Gravenberch? Arne was mentioning that he wasn't going to use tiredness and fatigue as an excuse. So, people have been saying that last couple of games he's looked a bit tired. I don't think he has, really. I think he's just managed himself. I know he got taken off, but that was just for against the Everton game. I think that was just for the amount of games that he played and getting him ready for the Wolves game. So I'd go Ryan, Maka and Slobosly. If that's not the case, it'll be Curtis, Maka and Slobosly. As I said, that midfield is going to be really, really important for us. Up front, lots of people are saying get Nunes on. Do you know what? He had a really poor game when he came on at Wolves, and Arne Slot did mention about you have to be mentally ready coming off the bench and do things, to for the cause of the team and whatever. Listen to the instructions. Look at the comparisons between him and Endo. Endo's a 30-odd-year-old true professional. Nunes is a young professional, but contrasting ways of coming onto a game were totally different. So I would start with Diaz on the left, Jota in the middle, and Mo on the right hand side. That's what I would pick as my starting 11. I think with Unai Emery, who's got issues with players, I think he will start Rashford against us, as I've mentioned earlier, and I think he'll start Asensio as well in the middle of that park. And obviously Ollie Watkins has some good games for us against us, and some bad games. So he's having an indifferent season. He's only scored 11 goals, but yeah. So we need to be on it from the start. We need to take this game to them. As I said, we'll have majority of the ball, and we'll have to play a full 90 minutes and not play a game of two halves like we did at the weekend. We have got City on the Sunday, so games are coming thick and fast for us. So we need to be on it. Just a little other note I saw today that Ibu and Verge are booking away from a suspension. We certainly don't want either of them having a suspension against Manchester City at the weekend. So we just have to, I mean, it's not going to be on their minds not to go in for tackles or anything like that. It's just the way it is. It depends how the ref interprets what challenges are. You know, so yeah, just have to be mindful of that. Okay, if you like this video, give me a like, please. Share it. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, I'll speak to you tomorrow after the game is finished. I'll do my post-match, and you get instant reaction from me on there. Okay, enjoy your Tuesday evening, and I will see you guys later. Up the Reds.